Hi, this is Christopher James with Branson Talk at All Things Branson, and today I am here with Dave Hamner. Hello, Dave.
Hey, it's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. You know, you were one of the first shows I saw when I came to
Really?
Branson. I came here back in 2005.
Long time ago.
Well, yeah. We don't need to get into ages and stuff. But 2005 I came, and I think my very first night I came and saw you and Jim Barber.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
He's a funny guy. Great.
He is a funny guy.
Yeah.
So my first exposure to what you do, which is all kinds of illusions and magic, you have to come see the variety show. We'll talk about the show in detail. But my first exposure was with World's Greatest Magic. You were on that television show, right, in the 80s?
Yes, back in 90s.
90s?
Yeah.
I can't remember dates anymore. Yeah. But that was my very first exposure to all of these illusions, because up until then I had done close-up magic, and then I see you, and you did your bird act, if I remember
right.
Yeah,
the exotics, yeah.
Yeah. And you're still doing it?
Still doing it at this point, and we've got some new birds in the act right now, but we always, work with them, and they fly around the room. It's a difficult thing for a magician. You try to fool the people,
right?
But in this society, when we're in the age of knowledge on the internet, where they know everything, you have to fool the magicians and the lay people and just anybody that has an interest in magic in order to fool the people.
Yeah, right.
So you have to come up with new ideas, new concepts. And so, to produce a dove or a little parakeet, we were talking about that earlier, it's a little bit more simplistic because you don't have as much to hide.
Yeah.
But if you have a 3-foot macaw to hide, you got to start rethinking everything.
Right.
So that's what we do. We work with the exotic birds. We have 12 in the show. We got a new bird, Max, that's a hyacinth macaw, the largest of all the flying macaws. And so learning the ropes, and just a swell bird, just a sweetheart of a bird. And the audience gets to know him personally and everything. So
I remember getting to know him when they swooped over our heads.
Yeah, they come in pretty close.
Yeah. What's the oldest bird that you have?
Probably 29
that's
years
pretty
old.
old for a bird. Yeah.
But Max, the hyacinth, is heavier and larger than all of those older birds, and he's 7 months old.
7 months?
Yeah, so he's going to be large.
He's going to be, yeah.
They call them the gentle giants, and they're on the critically endangered species list right now, which means there's only 5,000 of them in the wild. And so people may not be able to see them live. So if you come here, you can still see these birds live,
Yeah, and that's what I like about your show is you mentioned the internet, and now everything is so visual and so fast. I get this at our show where I have audience members that come up and say, I love this part. I'm going to have to look it up on YouTube and see how you did that. But each of your acts in the show, from the last time I saw it, was like a whole production, like a theatrical piece, where a lot of the internet stuff is just real fast, 30 seconds, 50.
Here's the school that I went to. Is the David Copperfield School, and where you tell a story.
Right.
And so today people, they come and see our show. Now, I'll be honest with you, self-disclosing here, they come to us and they say, well, it's kind of old school. Ours is old school. Because we take it from that time period that we performed in. Even though everything we do is kind of original. We have Vertigo, we have the Levomorph, which is a unique piece. We have the Stargate, we have a Bird Act, things that they've never seen before. But we do come out of that genre and that age of the classical kind of magician, even though I don't wear tails or anything like that. So that's the genre. And then, of course, the illusions, they all tell a story.
Right.
And so, there's something that goes on there. We try to connect with the people that way, and I think that people do grasp what we're trying to do and achieve. And with the research of the Illusionist today, and that movie, The Prestige, and The Illusionist that came out, those were period pieces, but yet people connected with it. And so I think magic is ageless that way.
Right.
So people, they may say, well, it's dated, but in the same token, they look at it and we still fool them because they don't know the methods. And it's unique.
Yeah, see, I believe the same thing, and I don't know if you've been out to our show, but I sort of do the same thing. I believe I take the magic and I build a scenario around that routine. And so then it doesn't become just about the trick. I've gone to so many newer, younger magic acts, younger than me, and they just try to do as many routines and as many tricks as they can. And I loved the Lance Burton fencing and the big production, and And if you followed it, it was a whole story, and it connected with the audience. That's why Copperfield is still performing.
He's still performing. MGM, sellout crowd, still there in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I was there in Las Vegas, and I went to see some friends that were in the show, not World's Greatest Magic, Masters of Illusion.
Yes.
I went to see some friends, and they said, they were taking me around to shows, and they said, so you're going to see Copperfield, right? I'm like, I've seen David Copperfield several times. They said, it's David Copperfield, and you're in the hotel where he is. So I went and saw it. He's still doing those stories, the UFO story and stuff. It is amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And I think people do want to see that. The other thing, like you say, when they just do one trick after it becomes more of a special effect rather than a skill, or at least a theatrical production skill piece where you talk to the audience and share, and it becomes a piece of theater then.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's missing in today's young people. And I do think unless we kind of turn it around a little bit and they understand what's going on, magic may take a turn and it becomes something maybe that we're not as crazy about.
Right, right. Because I've noticed the difference when people come out, and I've been at other shows, I listen to the comments, and they're like, we like this trick, this trick, this trick, when they're talking to a performer. But I like when they come out and say, we like you. Like, that's different. Like, you form your personality on stage and make connection. And we were also talking about how it's a little difficult sometimes to put in new material for some performers. We're lucky in Branson because we do so many shows. And I have a really good friend that works on cruise ships, and he came to me one day and said, you're so lucky because you can put in a new bit, a new routine, and in a week or two, you've done it a dozen times.
And you've worked the bugs out.
Yeah, and he said, you can do it for a week, because we do 12 to 15 shows a week. So you can do a week, and you've nailed it. He said, if I want to do it 15 times on a cruise ship, that's a 2-month commitment. And he's so afraid to take something out of a 45-minute act and hope that the new thing works. Yeah. And so that's kind of different.
Because he's performing his A material, as a comedian would say, and he knows it's tried and true and it works.
Right.
It's difficult. When you put something new in there, is it going to work?
Yeah.
And we put a couple of new pieces in last year, and I remember it was like me turning into a kid again, all over again, and I was worried. I don't get nervous about performing anymore. I've done it my whole life. But that night I was sweating. And it's like there's something new that's going to be in the show. Will it work? And at the end of the evening after we did that, I thought, was it a success or not? And afterwards people came into the line and said, hey, that one thing you did, that was interesting. So I hope that we achieved what we're doing. And putting new material in, it works, it doesn't work, but that's part of being a performer.
Right.
You have to weigh it out. You have to keep working and pressing on.
See, listening to you, I just had this exact thing happen to me this past Saturday because I decided to put in a piece that is more emotional. My character is kind of crazy and stuff on stage. I'm not one for being sentimental on stage, and this one kind of leads to that. And like you're saying, the entire show, I am most calm on stage. As a test, I wore a heart monitor for a while, and my heart rate is lower on stage than off stage, which people found crazy.
That's where you're the most comfortable.
Yeah, if I go out to eat with like 2 other people, I'm a nervous wreck. Then my heartbeat is going like crazy. But on stage that night, my voice kept cracking, and I had no doubt that it was going to work in one form or another, but oh my gosh, it was so stressful putting in this new piece. But then after it was done, the relief, and the people seem to enjoy it, I hope. We'll find out. But I was a nervous wreck.
Until you get it in. A producer friend of mine, Gary Willett, everybody knows him in magic, produced Copperfield and worked with him, and great friend to all of us magicians. He worked with us and helped produce us at one point, and we were working on a new trick and a new effect, and we put it in the show, and I was, just like you, a nervous wreck the first night, and once it was in there, afterwards he said, it's in the show now. And so don't worry about it ever again. So then you perfect it and you work the bugs out.
Yeah. What makes me nervous, which my wife always laughs at, is not the routine and what I'm doing. It's because I'm relying on technicians and other people, and I think, please don't miss the cue. Please don't miss this. Please. Because I can usually cover. My character, you're much more suave on stage than I am.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, than me at least, because my character if a trick didn't work, I could sell it. Because
You're a
the
comedy magician.
Exactly.
You want them to laugh and do the effect, but you still want to shock them. And some of the stuff you do, I've watched you, is shocking, and then they laugh.
Yeah, we were talking about the Magic Castle, and I had that happen because Jack Goldfinger at the Magic Castle, great guy.
Good guy.
He has seen everything. He knows everything. And he came and sat at my show, as he always does. And afterwards, he just sat there in the audience staring, and he said, "You fooled me." He said, "You get everybody laughing, and they're not expecting you to do something at the end, and you fooled me." And the next day I got calls from Chicago and other places. They're like, "Jack said you're really good at like putting the audience at ease and then just flooring them at the end." So that was a huge compliment.
No, you do that. And Johnny Thompson did the same thing.
Yes.
That bird act of his, we were laughing, all of a sudden he'd pull a bird out of nowhere and you go, where did that come from?
Yeah.
He was brilliant too. That's good. You've had the same abilities.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Johnny Thompson. I remember when he came to town and performed for Tom. Didn't he perform for Tom Mullica?
He was here in our theater. He performed at our theater here for a convention, a magic convention.
Oh, that's right. I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I remember when
he was brilliant.
I miss those magic conventions in Branson. Maybe we need to start doing something with
that. Yeah, somebody's got to come up with that.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to pay for it, I'm not doing that. So tell me about your show here now. You have your own theater, which is amazing.
Yes, Hamner's Variety Theater, and it's a blessing and a curse, you know. You're locked into, Denise works 15, 18 hours a day here, and she's brilliant, you know. She runs the front end and keeps everything going. And then, of course, she takes care of the birds, feeds them, does everything, and then helps train with the training and everything. And then she is great on the stage.
We should mention that's your wife.
Yeah, Denise is my beautiful wife. And I wouldn't have this theater or the show without her and her family behind us and helping us as much as they have. So I'm very thankful and blessed to have married Denise. And she is my soulmate and my best friend. And also, she is my performer on the stage and partner on the stage. And she does the vertigo. She falls on the spikes every night. I'm surprised
you can still do that because the city is very concerned.
It's a dangerous effect. Gary Willett, the producer, said it's the most dangerous trick in the history of magic, and he kind of knew the blood and guts of it because he helped produce that whole segment. And it is very dangerous, but she's brilliant. She's brave and courageous and very trusting. And I remember the first time that we did that. It was in the warehouse in Las Vegas, where the builder had put this all together. And Bill Smith has built a lot of my illusions. He's been a dear friend for many years. And I remember standing over the spikes and looking up at the glass trap door, and I said, "We're over our head with this one. This one's off the charts." And yet it became a signature piece for us, and it's one that they still talk about when they leave. It tells a story too a little bit, you know. But in the same token, she does all the illusions, and she's great on the stage, has a grace, and she's tough as nails. And you have to have that toughness in this business to survive. And it is show business, you know.
Right. Oh yes. Oh, I hear it all the time from people that run their own shows. Just the business side.
It is. We have to market. We have to go out and drag them in, you know, because there's 100 shows here in Branson, and they're all good shows. But we would love to have them come to our show, and like everyone else does. So we have to go out there and we have to market and do everything that.
Yeah, you have to do that. A lot of people don't realize you got concession stands, you got utilities. You have to deal with all of that.
We have a air conditioner that blew up in the back, and we have to put in a new air conditioning unit. People that own their own theaters know what I'm talking about when there's cost involved, ongoing cost.
Somebody's making money with that because I just interviewed Clay Cooper, and he said the same thing. He said, we just had to replace an air conditioning unit.
Or the lights, they blow up, and you need to put lights. So it's a blessing and a curse, but yet in the same token, this is where we are. As an older magician, I know where I'm going to be tomorrow, and I don't have to lift and unload my tractor-trailer rig anymore. I don't have to do all that. And so that's the blessing, that we can perform right here and keep going.
When did you move to Branson?
Oh, gosh, the Osmonds actually called us up back in the 90s, 96, 97, and we were with the Osmonds in the Hot Country show on ice and became friends with Jimmy.
On ice?
It was
doing your show on ice?
I was going to do it on the ice, and I had to put spikes in my boots. It wasn't conducive to the exotic birds.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
With them being on the ice. So there was a place on the side stage
Oh,
that
I
we
see.
performed, and we were able to perform over there where Clay Cooper's theater is right now. Yeah, that was the old Osmond Theater.
What year
at the
was
time.
that?
Back in the 90s, 96, 97. And we were there a year with them, and then we went to another show called Branson City Lights, and I think that was from 98 to 2000, something like that, in the Remington Theater at the time.
Oh, I miss that
And then it
theater.
became a church,
Yeah.
you know. But that was Branson City Lights, and we did our bird act. And to see them fly in that big theater, it was amazing. They would fly out over the audience, and they would lock them up and glide in, both of them together at the end. It was... We can't do it in our theater, but it was beautiful to watch that. And that was the Branson City Lights show. And then we came back with Jimmy in 2002, Jimmy Osmond, and worked with him in the Jukebox show from 2002 to 2003. And then 2004, he went to a different show, so he didn't do the Jukebox show. So we came over here, and we were in this theater from 2004 to now. And then it was with my partner, Jim Barber, and I, we were here for 10, 11 years together.
What made you guys team up?
Oh, he's funny. And we worked with Jimmy Osmond together, and we shared a dressing room. We had the best time.
Yeah.
And we were always together, Denise, Jim, and I, and she had her little courtesy, modesty curtain that she would dress, but she was in there with us, you know. And we shared the same dressing room. We had the best time. And then we thought, well, you know, Jimmy's going to do different shows, and he's going to England. At the time, he was working in England. And so what will we do if Jimmy goes to England at the time, and which he did. So then we found this theater, and, you know, I believe that the Lord works things in mysterious ways. Opened the doors for us to be able to come in here with a group called the Brasslers, which... wonderful singing group, wonderful Christian family. And right now, running the box office right now is Jan Brasser. She's still our head.
Oh, right.
And then Sherry, the daughter, is working in our box office. Cliff, the husband, who was the high tenor at the time, we're still dear friends. It's like family right here in our theater. So they still run this theater, but we came in here in 2004. And then in 2000, let me think about this now. It was 2013, 14. Jim said, Dave, I think I'm going to go do some cruises and stuff. And I know how difficult it is to do the theater and everything.
Well, see, I think you have the perfect show for Branson.
Yeah.
Because we've experimented at the Showboat in the past with just a particular genre of show. But Branson gets such a wide range of people that come that they really like a true variety show.
Yes.
And you have one of the few true variety shows, you know, much in the spirit of, like, I hate to say Ed Sullivan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have ventriloquism, you have the magic, you had Adagio, right?
All kinds of different things. And we brought in different acts. So we put the variety thing, kind of like America's Got Talent, together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. You guys have to check it out because I have a lot of friends that have worked here.
Yeah.
Maria.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I
She's
grew up
brilliant.
with her.
Yeah.
Well, she grew up at the Showboat.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember watching her in the show when she was dressed as the little monkey. Remember when
Yes.
she used to do that?
She's still a little monkey.
Yeah.
We won't say that out loud, though.
She'll love that we're bringing that up. But she was dressed as a little monkey in the show, and then she would dress as a pirate in the show. And
she's a world champion dancer, too. We just get out of her way. She dances a tribute to her dad right now that's brilliant in the show.
Oh, I have.
And then she does her aerial act still.
Yeah.
And then she's helping us with the illusions. And she's quicker than a snap because she's got the youth, you know. And so she helps Denise with some of the illusions and does a brilliant job.
Yeah. And you have other shows here also, other than your show.
Yes,
I think
we do.
You have Mike.
Mike Walker that does his Conway Remembered Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then he does Tuesday and Thursday his impression show. Yeah. And that's a great. He's great.
What's the name of that show? I forget.
Lasting Impressions.
Oh, that's such a great
Mike
name.
Walker. Yes,
I saw it online the other day, and I'm like, that is brilliant.
He's good. Yeah. Then we have the ABBA, a modern tribute to Abbott. Thank You for the Music show, and the brilliant cast. We have the Odoms, we have Stephen and Chelsea, then we have James and Cadence, and they just make a great quartet. And they also do the Beach Boys show. So, and people, once they hear them, they come back and buy a ticket to the other show.
Yeah, you're really good at cross-marketing.
Yeah, they do.
Because I've been here,
and
you're really good at promoting the other shows.
Then we have the Magnificent Seven with Tamara.
Yes.
And Joe Tinoco and Talia, and they're great. and they're still carrying on the legacy of the Meg 7, and they do a brilliant job. Tamara is Branson's Female Vocalist of the Year, and she's won all these kudos, and she's in our show too.
Yeah.
So she's our featured female vocalist, and she just does a brilliant job.
They also have the old-timey photos. Do you go into
Yes, they got TNT old-time photos. Go take your old-time photos over there. You will love them.
Yeah. But we go down and do that all the time, and Joe is hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
They're
so they have their show now Saturday morning, Sunday evening, and Monday evening.
Yeah. But what some people don't know is do you still have the church services?
We have the church service. We have Branson Gospel Sunday.
You are also an ordained
minister. Yes.
Yeah.
And that we're on Farm and Ranch TV now, filming every week live. We film it live. And so the viewership at Farm and Ranch TV, which is through Roku TV, it's just gone up. And it started out as 600,000 viewership. Now it's up to 8 million.
Oh my gosh.
So yes.
That is a huge.
Yeah. So we're proud to be part of that. They're picking up big sponsors. Ford Motor Company came alongside now and is one of the big sponsors. So it's really legitimate, and it's a good thing. So Farm and Ranch TV, check it out. But I wanted to talk real quick. You said about the variety.
Yes.
We got some of the best acts. I haven't mentioned them all. We do the magic in our show, and so that's one thing. We're the Hamners. We got Jeff Brandt. He's one of the world's best impressions. 13 years he opened for Wayne Newton, and he does the classics better than anybody. He does Tom Jones. He does Elvis every once in a while. He does Frank, Dean, Sammy, and he even does Tina on occasion. He's a funny guy, but he's got the vocal quality, and it can change it up. So he's in it. Tamara's in it. Branson's Female Vocalist of the Year. Anthony Sumiatin, whom you know, and little Maria Sarek. They do all the acrobatic stuff. Killer stuff. Johnny Lone Star is in our show now. He's right here. He tears it up, opens as a pre-show, and gets everyone warmed up. They love him.
Does the giant lasso.
Yeah, he was on America's Got Talent number 2, season 2. And he was on a season where Sharon Osbourne loved him in his cute, tight little Gola May breeches. Oh. She had him turn around the camera. It was very embarrassing.
I'm supposed to interview him.
Very embarrassing. And yet he finished in the top 20 out of 100,000 entrants. So he's very good, and he lights them up. And then we've got Kenny Brown. He's our comedian, dancer, and he works with me on the stage. We have Sherry Navarre, who is just brilliant at dancing. She's in the show. We've got Tony Koenig. He's a dancer in the show and doing really well. I've got Corey Martin, who does a lot of animation and stuff behind the scenes and is our stage manager. We just have one of the best casts.
Big cast.
A cast, yeah. And then I've got Corey Combo, my technical director, that's put this together, works very hard. I even have Bonnie Firking on the spotlight. She's the mom of the Acumed docs, you know. Okay. April and Stacy.
Right.
And that's their mother, and she works with us, and they all take care of us. It's a great family there.
Yeah.
But we have, like I said, one of the best casts, the West Theater, and love working with them every day. Yeah.
Well, one quick thing before we go, since you brought it up about America's Got Talent and all that, what do you think of those shows when it comes to magic?
Okay, here's my deal.
Do you support them?
Yes, I do, for this reason. Anything that supports variety arts, I'm 100% for. And those are some of the ratings are the highest for those shows. And guess who the demographics are? It's not necessarily the young people and the kids and the families. It's the seniors that are watching. They know every one of those names of every one of those artists because it reminds them of like the Ed Sullivan Show and when they were coming up watching TV.
Yeah.
They connect with this America's Got Talent. So I think it's brilliant. It helps. All of it that supports the variety arts helps all of us. Don't you feel the same way?
I do. I think that it exposes people to all the different talents.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not much for competition. You got all kinds of awards, which I assume these are chocolate-filled.
Yeah, they are chocolate-filled. You can eat them.
But when it comes to performing, I've had offers to do America's Got Talent, Penn and Teller, and others, and I just think it's so subjective.
Yes.
Like somebody may love Illusion, right? And then I go on and I do my little comedy dog and pony show, and they just don't connect with it. So So I have a little problem with the award. I love when they show the talent. I love watching the talent. I just don't like the voting of the talent.
I think, like I say, it's the exposing to the variety arts. Anything that pushes magic, I'm 100% for, because it'll translate to ticket sales. For us.
And I have noticed that. We get a lot of people that will say.
And so it's good for all of us. Now, if it's bad magic, I don't like it when they poke fun at it. But
or it's only TV magic. There's so many routines that you see on YouTube and stuff that those people could never perform in a theater.
No, because they edit and
and you have to have the right angle, and you have to and so I don't like that stuff. But when it's a good act, I mean, I've seen some great performers on all of the shows. I love Penn and Teller's show, but I don't think I could ever do it. I'd be so self-conscious. My heart would be racing then on stage, I'm sure. Well, come out and check out. What theater are you at?
I'm at Hamner's Variety Theater right here.
Such a coincidence.
Yeah.
That is so weird.
I don't know how they came up with the same name.
Yeah, but you can check them out online, right? Go to the website.
Yeah, hamnersunbelievable.com.
But come by and see the show. See Dave, see the birds. Be prepared, because my kids freak out every single time.
And check out Christopher James, too, on the show about Branson Bell.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wonderful act.
Well, thank you. Thanks for talking with me. It's always fun to talk with you and to see the show. Thanks for watching us at Branson Talk and All Things Branson. Bye-bye.